they stand to go, they're dangerously close to calling people who oppose different views hate groups. And I just don't think that's the way most Americans, the reason we call the Nazis and the Ku Klux Klan extremist groups, because a lot of people see them as extremists. Nobody really wants to sign on to them. I don't necessarily buy that African Americans and Latino Americans are as opposed as the media in particular paints it sometime, although I do acknowledge there are these core issues, mainly economic issues and job issues, that can be used to drive us apart if we don't pay attention to what's happening in the public debate and the public discussion of these issues.
Now we're going to move on to our next subject matter right here, because apparently, gentlemen, they want their money back. Yes, indeed. In the chaotic period after two deadly hurricanes, Hurricane Katrina and Hurricane Rita, hit the Gulf Coast in 2005, the government issued more than $84.5 million to more than 10,000 households. But census figures show that fewer than 8,000 homes existed at that time. Now the government wants that money back, and they're prosecuting people in regards to that. Now, Eugene, I just left off with you a few moments ago. I mean, we're talking about people who were going on the internet saying that they had homes in certain zip codes that didn't exist, and now they're sitting back either going to jail or paying back that money. What do you think?
I just think it just shows what a disaster. The real disaster was the flooding of the levees and Hurricane Katrina. The other disaster was FEMA, and the way FEMA didn't step up to the plate was probably its paramount challenge since its inception. And the people who want to keep apologizing for all the not even snafus we're hearing about outright incompetence in a lot of cases. Mm-hmm. And this story is just one slice of a whole group of stories showing how the people in charge of distributing money and providing any sort of help for this natural disaster just dropped the ball. So it's hard for me not to almost look at it sort of humorously, even though I understand it's deadly serious stuff.
But you have to sit back and give FEMA some kind of credit. I mean, if they did not respond in the rapid fashion that they did, they were already called racist based on their connection with Bush. If they didn't sit back and give that money right away, Chris, then again, I mean, they were in a no-win situation.
Oh, absolutely. They were in a no-win situation. They were just they were handing out hand over fist just to make sure that people were getting something and come back and deal with the repercussions of that later. Well, later is now. Now you got to deal with the checkbook. There is fraud. There is a good deal of fraud that's being out there, and they will prosecute those individuals that are out there, and they're starting to. Mm-hmm. But yes, if FEMA wouldn't have started throwing out those Visa cards left and right to anybody that asked for it, there would have been an even larger uproar.
Robert, we'll get the last word on this. What do you think about? What do you think about what we're talking about? I mean, we're talking about
this is a lesson to never hire a guy who only raises horses to run a major national agency.
And that is that. And when we come back, we'll have our closing comments. Stay with Focus on Diversity. We'll be right back.
And now, Focus on Diversity closing comments.
Last week it was announced that the federal government is going to start prosecuting and looking into the early distribution of funds to hurricane victims in New Orleans area and around the surrounding areas. There was apparently 10,000 Visa cards given out to only 8,000 homes that were there during the Census Bureau. There is rampant fraud. As Robert had stated earlier, we had somebody running a federal organization that was very underqualified. It's one of the things that we need to look at in regards to our government structure, in regards to who is qualified or who is getting a handshake from a president or a vice president within the United States of America. We need to truly look in regards to who our qualified leaders are to make sure that this type of fraud does not go on in such a major event within the United States again.
Well, it looks like Mayor Barrett wants a new PIC, Private Industry Council. During an announcement of his new budget proposals, he asked that PIC be more focused with the city as opposed to the county. I think that's a good thing because there's a lot of money available. The central city of Milwaukee, not necessarily Milwaukee County, needs a lot of the job training and development that PIC has been mandated to give. I hope it doesn't degenerate into a real political battle between the mayor's office and the county executive, but I do think we've had PIC countywide for a long time, and it really hasn't addressed some of the most pressing needs. Maybe it is best to refocus the money in the city.
The Southern Law Poverty Institute announced recently that hate groups in the United States have risen by 33%, And membership in the Ku Klux Klan, different chapters, has risen by 63%. A lot of this is being attributed to the rise in anti-immigrant feelings being promoted by elected officials of our government. These individuals need to be blasted for the kind of statements that they make that can be used to help fuel recruitment for these hate groups. Individuals who are in positions of power, who hold influence, who use that position to attack a population of human beings ought to be ashamed of themselves. And to continue to fuel the growth of hate groups in the United States by targeting these individuals is un-American and should be treated as un-American.
My comments are on the company's marketing to ethnic groups of people. Currently, we know that Miller Brewing Company here in Wisconsin is currently creating a new style beer called Chili, marketing to the Hispanic community. And Sprecher Beer is actually putting out 2 brand new brews out here, marketing towards the African American community. I think companies are realizing more and more that if they take the time to do some research within these particular 2 ethnic groups of people, there is a lot of money to be made. I hope that there's other companies out there that will be searching throughout their product line to see whether or not they may have some profitable ventures in regards to marketing to these communities as well. That's indeed my note to you. I'd like to thank again all of my guests for appearing on our program here today. Join us next time as we investigate diversity all over the country. That's next time on Focus on Diversity. God bless you, and you have a great day.